Hello guys, and tonight Ukrainian drones have set ablaze another oil refinery in Volgograd. So obviously we continue our Russian geography lessons, but we also combine them with some logics and mathematics. Because as one very smart Ukrainian YouTuber said, right now, the largest territory in the world constantly attacked by drones is actually Russia. And not only a number of oil refineries that were set on fire since the start of 2025 are important, but also we have to add new US sanctions on Russian oil refining industry, and then the end of Russian gas transit through Ukraine, which leads to the loss of billions and billions and billions of dollars, and all of that in the context of totally collapsing Russian economy. So it seems like recent Ukrainian attacks on various Russian oil refineries, chemical plants, and other things actually describe us what a real combined attack is. And no, I don't mean just objects and locations. I also mean totally different parts of life on which that occurs, starting from military and finishing with the economic. And let's discuss all of that, starting with Volgograd. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see the defeat and demilitarization of Russia and also protect yourself against the hybrid narratives and warfare, subscribe. We discuss all of that on the channel. And I'm actually happy that more and more Russian oil refineries are destroyed at the very beginning of 2025. Perhaps this was one of the smartest and most effective strategies that Ukrainian armed forces introduced back in 2024, and during the last year we have achieved a lot, and Russia lost more than 20% of its oil refining industry because of fires, destructions, and inability to rebuild the destroyed elements of these oil refineries, which are actually quite complex constructions. And when sanctions really work, it's difficult to get the elements or details that they need, let's say from Switzerland or France, and cannot produce in Russia, quite obviously. But for a long period of time, I actually missed Ukrainian attacks on oil refineries, and I hope there were no shadow bans from our allies to use this strategy. But even if there were, right now there is none, because just yesterday Russia has experienced the largest massive drone attack on its territory and can now officially be considered the largest territory in the world in constant fires and attacks of drones. And no, it's not Ukraine, it's Russia. Something that seemed totally unbelievable back in 2022 is the new reality of war-torn Russia. I know my country suffers a lot, but that was not our choice. That was choice of the Russian people. And at the very start of the full-scale invasion, they were cheering for this war, saying they are fully prepared. And now when I listen to videos from their oil refineries, explosions and detonations there, I feel like they are not prepared to this aspect of war. And it's always like that. So be careful what you are wishing for. Tonight, Ukrainian drones have visited a big oil refinery in Volgograd region of the Russian Federation, that one that belongs to main Russian oligarchs of Lukoil, and the detonation and fires were very loud, same as exclamations and all of that, oh my god, very bad language that you can hear from Russians recording the videos and uploading them online, which definitely goes against the rules of war and informational security. Every Ukrainian knows that you do not disclose the videos from the locations recently targeted. But they are Russians. Subscribe to see more of their refineries upgraded to fireworks, which is deadly for the Russian economy. And the collapse of the Russian economy always leads to the collapse of these empires, be it Russian Empire, Soviet Union, or Federation. It's always about money. And please share these videos on your social media platforms to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine. And join the community of our channel. just yesterday, a lot of oil refineries and depots were set on fire. The very famous one in Engels that keeps burning for like more than a week already. And the one in Kazan, which is not an oil refinery, but a reservoir for a specific kind of gas, like liquid gas, what you do under pressure. Which is actually the result of problems with Russia's gas transit. And they pretend they don't care about the end of this transit via Ukraine. We gave 3 years to our European partners to find the substitution, and that's the perfect solution actually for the safety and security of these nations, because Russia always use energy resources as instruments of war or blackmail. And right now, after the end of this agreement on the 1st of January, Ukraine stopped the transit and Russia lost billions of dollars. According to preliminary estimates, at least in 1 year, Gazprom, which is already in great trouble and firing people. By the way, let me know in the comments below, would you like a separate video about that? I was reading it recently and I loved the information, because actually such companies like Gazprom, like Lukoil, they illustrate the not well-being of the Russian economy. But I was saying different thing, that Gazprom, because of the end of transit of gas through Ukrainian territory, will lose approximately $5 billion per year. Unimaginable. And this is also bad for Russian influence in some European countries. And that's why this agony of Fico's regime in Slovakia looks so desperate, because the only thing these politicians could offer people of Slovakia, for example, cheap Russian gas. But nobody needs cheap Russian gas because it's never cheap. It always comes in a deadly combo of dependencies and influences and hybrid warfare. Trust me, I'm Ukrainian, and everyone in Ukraine knows that if we were not dependent on Russian gas back in the 90s, we would not be that severely demilitarized. We would not have that many Russian oligarchs getting inside the vital parts of Ukrainian economy, and many other bad things that happened to us because some stupid or bad politicians believed they get cheaper gas and that's better for population. You see, it turns out deadly and always bad. So what we see right now with Fico's reaction on the end of the transit is not his anxiety about people, because there are plenty of European countries and even Ukraine that can help them out. But no, they desperately want the connection with Russia, promises of cheap Russian gas. That is actually the only argument that Fico can use on any kind of elections. So, helping others become independent from gas and oil, Russian gas and oil, we save the world and make it more stable, more predictable. And that's why combined attacks, and here I don't mean missiles and drones, but I mean attacks on Russian oil refineries, attacks on chemical plants, or sanctions that prevent cooperating with banned and sanctioned Russian oil refining companies, sanctions against Russian shadow fleet that not just transports the oil but constantly spills it, I don't know, maybe even intentionally to destroy our ecology, and end of Russian gas transit. All of these are very beautiful and very important steps that we take on our way to defeat Russia. And economically, it may be even easier than militarily, but we like to combine both. Once again, a combined attack. And honestly, stop listening to Russian propaganda, stop looking at the numbers that they give out in Russian newspapers. It's all totally fake. The reality of Russia is that Gazprom stocks are falling. They have to fire people. They have to close lots of their new projects, and they are losing billions of dollars together with the agreements of transit or transportation of Russian oil, because everything can be substituted, and moreover, after the collapse of the Kremlin regime, gas prices can even become better and more negotiable. So let's wait and see, but at the same time work hard to speed up the process. Join me on X, join me on Threads, on Blue Sky, and in Instagram, and we have a good Discord community. All the links that you need are in the description of this video. Let me know, are you available this Saturday for a live? I'd be happy to speak with you. I missed you. I can tell you more Carpathian stories where I've been recently. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel. Check our merch shop for lots of good items that work well as reminders and conversation starters about Ukraine. Be careful, there are scammers from time to time on YouTube channels. I never invite you to chat on other platforms. And most importantly, let's remain united and witness the collapse of the Kremlin together. That will be fun. Slava Ukraini!